Welcome to my latest battle report. This time we're going big, big-ish. It's 2,500 points worth of Necrons versus Tyranids. I'm playing the Necrons today, the Cadian dynasty, just waking up, taking its first tippy-toe steps out of its many, many tomb worlds. And on this particular world, a new hive fleet is going to come rushing in to destroy them. And Tyranids and Necrons, xenos on xenos. The Necrons trying to repulse the Great Devourer, and the Great Devourer simply trying to devour, destroy, consume. So because it's 2,500 points, we're playing an open war game to keep it nice and simple. Standard deployment and take and hold is the mission win conditions. These come from the open war deck here. The way this works is from the start of the second battle round, you score a victory point for each objective that you control in your command phase. So in turn one, you need to get onto a couple of objectives and then still be there at the start of turn two. If I'm on 3, for example, in my command phase in turn 2, then I'll get 3 points. This area of the battle grid is somewhat busy. Over here, it's a little bit more spread out. And the battle map and all the scenery that you see, which isn't Games Workshop, all comes from gamemat.eu. Gamemat.eu battle map, gamemat.eu pre-painted terrain here. And a new challenger has arisen. No, you can close it. It's fine. You're on camera, look. Say hi, Rapid.
Hi, Rapid.
Rapid is one of the Stylus Monkey crew.
I am.
Or are they part of your crew? Which way round does that go?
Well, we don't like to embarrass them.
Yeah. And you've been playing on and off since 2nd edition?
Yeah, brought back in 8th proper.
Yeah.
But yes, since 2nd.
And today you've brought along your Hobby Apocalypse army plus another 1,000 points.
No, it's not Hobby Apocalypse.
It's not Hobby Apocalypse army. You said your Hobby Apocalypse army. Oh no, it was Necrons. Necrons
Yeah.
was your Hobby Apocalypse
Yes.
army. Now this is your other army.
Yes.
Have you played with Tyranids much recently?
Yeah, a little bit.
They're really strong.
They are really strong and they're really fun.
Yeah,
They're really
they are fun. I do like them, yeah.
Yeah.
This is 2,495 points worth of Necrons, so it gives me plenty of CP to play with. I've had to spend 1 on an extra relic, 1 on the monolith, and I've got Eternal Expansionists and Relentless Conquerors, or Relentless Expansionists and Eternal. Basically a free 6-inch pre-game move, and everything here counts as scoring, which is nice. There's also protocols which go off every single turn, and the way protocols work now is you select one at the start of the game, and that one is active for your entire army for the whole game, and then you cycle through the rest of them. I'm not going to be cycling through the rest of them because 75% of the time when you actually cycle through them, you don't really need them. They're a bit and also it makes my brain bleed. But the one that I'm picking, Rapid, is +1 move. Okay, so my whole army has +1 move. That means these wraiths are moving 13. And the warriors and the immortals are going to be moving 6. So the way it works is, down here, he's got the warlord trait. I think it's called Eternal Conqueror, which basically reduces all damage on my Scorpic Lord by 1. So damage 3 becomes damage 2 becomes damage 1, etc., etc. And this fella here, which is my Technomancer, he's got a Canoptic Control Node and the Voltic Staff. So his Staff of Light is upgraded, so it's a bit better shooty, a bit better in melee. And Canoptic Control Node means if he runs around with the 2 units of 6 Wraiths, he'll make them hit on 3s instead of 4s. So that's what he's going to be doing. He can also pick a core model up, core infantry model up, and their core infantry. And then I've got a Chronomancer down here. A Chronomancer points at a unit in the command phase, and that unit gains a 5+ invulnerable save. And he's also got, I've given him Veil of Darkness. And the idea with him is he floats around with the 2 units of 7 destroyers there. 7, because there's 6 Lockhurst destroyers and 1 Lockhurst heavy destroyer in each of the squads. So he's going to float around with them with a 5+ invulnerable save. This one's going to float around with these guys, making them hit better and hopefully picking them up. And then my Scorpic Destroyer Lord will start off with some of these guys and the Scorpic Destroyers and then push up to try and be a pain in the butt. They're supported by 2 units of 5 Immortals and 1 big squad of 20 Warriors. Also pushing forward and trying to be a pain in the butt is the Catan. This is the Shroud of the Nightbringer. It's a custom model made by Den of Imagination Painting Studios, and Den of Imagination also did the paint job, the non-metallic metallic. I don't know how they did it, but it looks absolutely beautiful. I talk about his Catan powers when they actually happen on the table, but yeah, that's a custom model. I think they've sold out of all the models now. So if you want to get this model, it's called the Death Reaper model. You can actually get it from March of War. He's bought the STL file from them. So James from March of War can print you out one of these and you can buy it off of him. And talking about marchofwar.co.uk, all the lovely bases on my Necrons are from marchofwar.co.uk. I did a tutorial on how to paint them like this, and I think it's a speed painted army, but the bases really make it pop. So thank you, James. And of course, I'm bringing along the monolith. It's 2,500 points. I thought, hey, let's bring along the Catan and the monolith. But yeah, we hate Tyranids consuming all the biomass all over the place. So this is actually quite a chunky force. There's quite a lot of shooty, quite a lot of punch in the middle, and quite a lot of punch coming forward as well, with troops running around in the backfield, which will allow me to score, and also a monolith for some of that cheeky redeployment shenanigans, because you can do that. You can zip up a unit and dump them through the monolith if you want to. It's and also Veil of Darkness on these, a nice redeployment shenanigan as well. So it's deceptively quick, also with the +1 to move. This is 2,500 points worth of Tyranids. It's a custom high fleet called
High Fleet Bulk.
Bulk, which is a mountain near you.
Yes.
I like it. Okay.
Quite a barren mountain.
Quite a barren mountain. And you bring in a custom high fleet as well. What does your custom high fleet do?
So +1 to charge rules,
Nice.
and all monsters get the objective secured ability.
Ooh. So including the Swarm Lord as well. They've all got OBSEC, all your troops have got OBSEC, and you're charging better.
Yes.
Brilliant. Would you like to talk us through what you've done here?
Yes, okay. So, starting off, we got a Neurothrope, and I imagine some people might find that familiar.
I've seen that one before.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So, Neurothrope has got Catalyst and Paroxysm.
Catalyst and Paroxysm.
And then Resonance Barb, so for the +1, in addition to the +1.
Yes, so he's got a double +1.
Yes.
He's definitely pulling them off there. It's
And
interesting. It's
buff
good that
seal.
I've got bugs so that you're able to borrow the one that you left behind.
Yeah,
I went
it's
to
very
say
good.
high pools recently, actually, like a week ago, and I left a whole unit of warriors behind as well. So it happens to the best of us. Not that I'm the best of us, but...
Okay, I don't know if I'm the best.
Okay, so psychic powers and pluses to cast on him, yeah?
Yeah, and then with the No-4 sword then, with the Zoanthropes, which have got Neuroparasite with their Smite.
Yes.
And hopefully be doing some 3d6 smites.
Hopefully, yep.
Yeah. And then on to Turvigan, so the big mama.
Yes.
And she's got Adaptive Biology.
Okay, so 5-up shrug.
5-up shrug.
Nice.
She's got Toxin Sacs as well.
Okay.
So the auto wounds.
Yes.
And then the Swarm Lord, who's got Paroxysm and Smite.
Okay.
And the Horror as well.
Okay.
And he's my Warlord.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Now you gave that one your Warlord.
Yes, I did. My bad.
Which is 5-up shrug.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
And then 2 sets of 20 Termagants.
Right. And that's so that's 40 to start off with, but
Yeah.
once per battle for free, she can give birth to another 10.
Another 10, yeah.
So we're going to be up to 50, and then she can recycle them back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to die anytime soon.
No, I love it. It's great. It's silly.
Yeah.
And then Tyranid Warriors, only thing they got is Toxin Sacs.
Okay.
So they've got the nice swords, which are wonderful.
See, you've given them toxin sacks, right? So 6 explode. But with adrenal glands, they get +1 to move, and those swords go up to strength 8.
That's true.
But you give them toxin sacks. So
I
I do like the adrenal glands on the sword versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, with the toughness 4.
Yeah.
And then I have to put them in. I love Gene Stealers. I've got way too many of these in the house. So 2 sets of 10.
I love how every Tyranid player has got like 60 Gene Stealer sets.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new sculpt coming for these soon. A new type of Gene Stealer, no doubt.
Love it. Looking forward to it.
Maybe
I'm sure
with 10th.
probably buy another 60 of them when it does come out.
Yeah.
And then on to the Dharmakeiron,
Yes.
who's got enraged reserves, so he doesn't mind if he's getting hurt. He's going to keep on trucking.
Yeah, it doesn't degrade.
No.
Yeah.
And then 2 sets of 3 Ripper Swarms,
Yes.
Borgo guys, 2 Carnifexes.
Are these Screamer Killers or...
No.
No, not.
No.
And the normal Carnifexes, but with...
One that has got the precognitive sensoria,
Okay.
and they got adrenal glands and toxin sacs.
Why are you bringing Carnifexes and not Screamer Killers? What's the thought behind that? That's interesting.
I just like the Borgo with all the spikies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's fine. If you like it, you like it.
It's just silly.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Exocrine, which has got the voracious ammunition, so from nice mortal wounds.
Nice.
And then the Harpy then is last but not least with Dermic Symbiosis, so it's got a 4-up invuln.
Nice.
And it's got the Stranglethorn cannons.
Of course, once per battle, they can pop their thing to give loads of things a 4-up invuln as well.
Yes.
So, forward punch, you've got Carnifexes, Warriors, and the Swarm Lord.
Yeah.
And Democarian, and the Harpy, to be fair.
Yeah.
Your shooting doesn't look like much. It's deceptive because there's only an Exocrine there. But Neurothropes and Zoanthropes are essentially shooting with psychic guns, with mind bullets. And I don't get will be back reanimation against in the psychic phase. You don't get that.
Yeah.
And of course, the Swarm Lord and the Tervagon can chuck out some psychic stuff as well.
Harpy's quite disruptive as well, just being able to get around.
Yeah.
Lots of shots, 2 damage.
Yeah, it's the good one. Then the other one's not so good, the Hive Chrome, but this one is and it's an aircraft now, which is interesting. So that's it. 2,500 points worth of custom Tyranids versus custom Necrons. Let's go on to deployment. And here we are after deployment. None of my units are in reserve. There's just a line of Immortals and Warriors along here. And forward deployed just over there are some Gene Stealers ready to run in to the guns. Chronomancer and my Lord, along with a bunch of Destroyers here. They're also in range of the Scorpex. And I put the Wraiths down on this side of the battle grid and the Monoliths over here as well. And the reason why I put the big guns on this side of the battle grid is because of these 3 objectives, this cluster of them there. And talking about a cluster, this is where most of the Tyranids have clustered as well. A Ripper Swarm is in reserve. They can burrow up from underground at some point. Democarian and the big monsters taking a station right in the middle of the table. So this is, I have no idea how this is going to go. I have got a lot of gun, but my gun isn't that far ranged. Like the Locust Destroyer is only 24-inch range. The Death Rays on the Monolith only 24-inch range, but I've got Particle Whips and the Heavy Gauss Destroyers. They're a bit further. So my range is mid-range army, and getting the Tyranids in mid-range is a problem, but we've got a lot of punch. So let's roll off to see who goes first. Got dice? Dice, dice, baby. After you, sir. Good luck. That is a 5, and I get a 2. So this is an open play, so you can choose whether you want to go first or second. I do have a pre-game move. I can redeploy 6 inches, so I'll let you think about that.
Yeah, okay.
Monkey and Stylus will be watching this and making notes as well, okay? Because you're one of the Welsh crew. So no pressure. You're not representing an entire nation. Everything's going to be fine. Right, so you've had a think. And your final answer is?
You go first.
Why? I got a pre-game move and then the move and the thing and then the shooting and the stuff. Why?
Be closer to me, I can eat you quicker.
Yes, that will happen. But I won't be a tasty snack. It's basically...
No, it's metal. But I can rip you apart though.
Okay.
I can rip you apart.
Are you sure?
No, but let's do it.
Here we are after my move and the pre-game move. I'm currently on 1, 2, 3 objectives. Zipping up the table there, 6-inch pre-game move and then 13 inches with the Wraiths. So the only thing I'll really be able to charge is that little unit of Gribblies down there, but then there'll be a unit of Wraiths right in Rapid's deployment zone and something for him to think about in turn 1. In the command phase, I made this unit have a 5+ invulnerable save, if in case there's plenty of DACA coming back, because they're the most exposed and the other unit are in cover. Well, at least the front guy is. I did think about redeployment shenanigans with Veil of Darkness or using the Monolith, but it's turn 1 and they haven't even moved yet. I need to see which way this battle shifts around. The Catan is out of range for his psychic powers because they're all 9 inches or something like that. Yes, both 9 inches. His one is Gaze of Death and I picked Cosmic Fire as well. So they're both 9 inches. Basically, I'm spreading across the line, presenting a strong front to the Tyranids. I am aware that there's some Gene Stealers behind there, but these warriors can see them, or Immortals, and these Immortals can see them as well. And I've caught them in a crossfire. So let's start with these 2 units. So I'm going to fire both of the squads of Immortals at the Gene Stealers. Actually, no, I should do them one at a time, just in case you pull and then I can't see with the other squad. So this will be this squad here. And they hit on 3s and they wound on 3s. And you have a 5-up invulnerable save to shooting, and that is only 1 wound. So you're definitely not pulling from the other squad. The other squad 1 in rapid fire, 3s to hit and 3s to wound. 3 more 5-up invulnerable saves on your Gene Stealers. And I killed 2 of them. It's probably worth mentioning as well, you did do a synaptic thing. What was the synaptic thing?
Warp shielding.
Warp shielding from the Zoanthrope. So everything's got 5-up invulnerable save. Monsters have a 4+ invulnerable save right now. Which is going to make it a bit tricky when I use this unit here to fire everything at that Carnifex down there. The one on the left. 24-inch range on the Gauss. So there's only 5 in range. And it's tougher than my shot. So I'm going to burn 2 CP on Extermination Protocol so I can reroll all failed wounds. And there's a tree in front. So I'm hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Like that. And I'm winning on 5s, but rerolling everything. So 4 wounds so far. 5 wounds in total. 5 invulnerable saves on your Carnifex there. Over here. And cock dice. And wow, you make 3 of them. So 2d3 damage. And that becomes 1, and that becomes 1 because this is Carnifex. It's on 7 wounds remaining, because I think they start off with 9. Then we've got the really big gun firing in. This one, it isn't minuses to hit, so it misses. So let's come across to unit number 2. There's 2, I need to measure. Only the big gun, Heavy Couch Destroyer. This is a 4 to hit, and a 3 to wound, and that wounds. Just 1, 4+. And you make that save as well. Rapid.
Yeah.
You know how before the game begins, off camera, you said you were afraid of my shooting?
Yeah.
How many things have I killed? 2 Gene Stealers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 wounds on this boss man.
And the last thing I have left to fire is the Monolith, because everything else is out of line of sight and range. Right, the Monolith has got line of sight on the Warriors. I'm going to dump everything into the Warriors, because I can't shoot at Big Mama, because she's got a swarm of more than 20 in front of her.
Yes.
So no shooting at her. Mind you, the particle whip could whip out and slash one of them, couldn't it?
Yes.
So let's do a particle whip on that, and then the death rays into the Warriors. Death rays, I have 4 of them on the side. You know, I only picked the death rays on the models because it's a gun called Death Ray. If you have the opportunity in a 40k army to ever add a gun called Death Ray, you just got to bring it, right?
It's an auto-include. Absolute auto-include.
Okay, hitting the Warriors. I'm going to hit them on... There is a thing that you can use called Reinforced Hive Node, but the Death Ray is D3 plus 3, so it's going to auto-kill them if they get through anyway, so there is no point. So 3s to hit, and it's Strength 8 first, or 9. Basically, I'm winning on 3s because they're Toughness 5. And you have 5 up invulnerable saves. Oh, terribly sorry. And each failed save will eliminate 1.
3, yes?
Just 2.
Oh, 2?
Just 2. And 1 gets eliminated. And then the particle whip will lash out into the zoanthropes for 6 shots. The whip will hit on 3s and it's strength 12. So wound on 2s, and you have 4+ invulnerable saves on the zoanthropes. Each one of these doing 3 damage.
Oh, no.
So that kills 1 because they're 4 wounds each, I believe.
Yeah.
And that puts 1 down to 1 wound remaining. Lightning crackles amongst the Tyranid lines from the Monolith, and that is the end of my shooting phase. It could have been worse. Now we're going to charge. Probably the most pointless charge. I mean, they're the fly keyword. I could charge something a bit further, but I'll probably fail the charge. So what I want to do is send them into all these little gribblies down here, because Rays can actually... Drop dice don't count. Rays can actually fall back and charge other things as well. Yeah. I need to give you a problem. And I only need to get to that side of the barricade. So they will charge the little gribblies. The Rays charge in while adhering to the battle parameters, which is search and secure. So one of them is staying floating around next to the objective there. Rays have 4 attacks each. They hit on 4s. And normally they'd kill on 2s. But these little gribblies have warp shielding right now. So 10, 5+ invulnerable saves.
Yep. And
in the end...
2, 3, 4, 5.
5. The Termagants pile in and fight back. They're going to be hitting on 4s.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, drop dice, start again.
Don't count.
So that many. Strength 3, toughness 5.
Yep.
5s.
Winning on 5s. 1 wound.
1 wound.
And they don't manage to injure my steel hide. And that is the end of Necron's turn 1. You don't have any morale because Tyranids. Everything's in synapse or really high leadership, such as the Gena Stealers over here. I am on 3 objectives, so if I'm still on 3 objectives in my command phase, I will get 3 points. So that's very important for the Tyranids to try and push me off at least a couple of them and have put this threat right up amongst the Great Devourer's lines. So let's find out how they respond in Tyranids turn 1. And so the Tyranids respond to this aggression the only way they know how, by moving forward. Regeneration spent on this Carnifex here, so it healed a wound, and that Carnifex was buffed by the Swarm Lord in the command phase, so it's going to re-roll hits. Over here, Big Mama spawned in the Termagants that I killed, so there's still 2 units of 20 back there. She can do that every single turn, and once per game she can put a whole new unit of 10 down. She's also buffed this unit here, so that they can shoot better. I'm not sure if they're in range of much, but she's buffed them, she can do it. The Harpy flying all the way over. And Demacarian. The Demacarian can basically, it's not got the fly keyword, but it acts as though it can fly. So it can leap over terrain, it can leap over models when it charges. I think the rule is actually called leap. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have some charges with some Carnifexes, some charges with some Gene Stealers around here, and of course some charges with some Gene Stealers around here. Tyranids doing what Tyranids do best. Let's move on to the psychic phase. Starting off with the Swarm Lord, casting Paroxysm on this unit down here. It's a 7 to cast, and I won't be able to do Overwatch. And that's a 7. That passes. Oh no,
it's a 5.
That's a fail.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, needing a 7. And a 1 plus a 3. They are not paroxysized. They'll still be able to do Overwatch.
And then the Horror.
The Horror on the same unit. This is a 5 though.
Yep.
This will be fine. That's a 4. That's not fine.
That's not fine.
So the Tervagon trying to put Catalyst on the Demacarian hit. It's a 6 to cast. And that's a pass. I got it wrong. He's a fast attack choice, not a Lord of War. Because Lord of Wars, the shrug for Catalyst is a 5-up shrug.
Yep.
And Lord of Wars is a 6-up shrug. He's not Lord of War. He's got a 5-up shrug. That's cool.
Yep.
And now I think we're on to the Smite Bombs from the Neurothrope and Zoanthropes.
Yeah.
Zoanthropes smiting, they get to roll 3d6 because of the Neurothrope next to them. And it's +2 to the cast because there's +2 there. What did you get? Didn't get
8.
more than 10.
No, I did not. I'm very disappointed.
But it will be D3 +2 mortal wounds because there's 2 in the squad. And that is 5 mortal wounds. That will definitely kill a Wraith. Then another smite from the Neurothrope. He's got +2 to cast because of relics and warlord traits and things.
He is.
And that's a 10, so not more than 10.
Nope.
Another D3 for 2. So in total, 7 mortal wounds hit the Wraiths. Now, because a unit suffered mortal wounds, it means that Neurothrope gets healed back up to full wounds.
Yeah.
Starting off the shooting phase with the Harpy firing 2 Strangleform cannons down below it as it flew over the Wraiths.
Heavy D3, twice.
+3. So it's D3 +3.
Yes, hitting on 3.
Winning on 3s. 4 wounds. 5 wounds.
Yes.
I need invulnerable saves. How much damage is it?
They're 2 shot.
2 wounds per shot. Well, I made 4 of my saves. I failed 1. So the ones on 2 wounds falls. Any more shots from it?
No, that's all it's got. Oh, actually, no, it's got the Stinger Salvo.
Stinger Salvo. 8 shots on 3s and then 4s. Causing 3 more wounds. And I make those saves. And then I get to reanimate. And I don't reanimate.
8.
Next up, the Tervagon is firing into the same target with her Stinger Salvo. 8 shots. She hits on 3s. And wounds on 4s. That's 4 wounds this time. 4 up saves. I take 2 wounds. One's on 1 wound remaining. Now we're going to the Tervagants, and there are 10 of them that can see this unit of race. They're hitting on 3s though, because they've been buffed by Big Mama. Trying to plink off that last wound. Only 4 hits though, wounding on 4s. That's 3 more wounds. 4 up saves. Okay, that kills a Wraith and puts 1 down to 2 wounds. Reanimation. Yep, 1's dead. Warriors can fire into the Wraiths as well. There's a Devourer in range. 5 shots hitting on 3s. And you get 4 hits. This is only strength 4 of these guns though. Yep. So winning on 5s. And I will get a 3-up save. And I'm okay. The last thing left to shoot will be the Exocrine, and it's firing past the first unit of race and dumping all of its shots into this unit back here. The front unit of race are softened up lovely for a Democarian charge. D3 additional shots, plus the 6 it's already got. 9 shots hitting on 3s. That's really bad. Only 4 hits. You need 3s to wound. Only 2 wounds.
Oh, that was bad.
Command point or not?
I think I might. Yeah, I'll do 1.
Okay. 3 wounds, because each failed save is a dead Wraith.
Yes.
So I lose a Wraith.
Okay.
And then on a 2+, because it's got the
Voracious Ammunition.
Voracious Ammunition. On 2+, you do D3 more mortal wounds. And that's 3, so 1 more mortal wound. And then I can reanimate. And I don't reanimate, so 1 dies, 1's on 2 wounds. That's the end of the Tyranids shooting phase, living ammunition ricocheting out all across the battle grid and just cutting down Wraith after Wraith. We're on to the charge phase. Democarian jumping up and over with the +1 to charge. It's a 6-inch charge. And that's a 10. Democarian leaps up and over and engages that unit of Wraiths. We're coming around to this swarm of Gene Stealers. It's going to be an 8-inch charge to engage the Wraiths. And they roll a 5. So you got 1 CP reroll, and there's other charges that you'd like to make as well.
I'll leave
so
that then.
Now the decision... You can leave this one.
Yeah, I want to focus on over there.
Okay. The Gene Stealers around here can't really fail, I don't think. Particularly with their +1. But a high charge would be nice to jump over the barricade. So yeah, the 10, 11-inch charge, that gets as many in as you'd like to.
Yeah.
And we'll move. And then there was another one, which was this one here.
Yeah.
Which we worked out was an 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to overwatch you.
Okay.
The Gauss cannons will hit on 6s. And I get to re-roll 1s because this fella's down here. So let's re-roll them for only 2 hits. 5s to wound, no wounds, and then the giant gun misses. Blizzard of Gauss fire fails to hit the target. The Carnifex comes charging through. It needs an 8. And that's an 11. 1 comes barreling through. The second one needs a 10. It's charging with both. And that's a 12. So charges all across the line for the Tyranids. Suddenly the Necrons seem to be in a very precarious position. We're starting with the Democarian trying to chop up these Wraiths from behind. It's got 6 attacks with its massive Servant Talents. Hits on 3s. And it does reroll 1s. And there is a 1. And 5 hits. It's strength 8, so it needs 3s to wound. What am I talking about? 3s to wound. And that is 4 wounds. And it's each of these attacks is D3 plus 3 damage.
Yes.
So each failed save will kill a Wraith. 4 up vulnerable saves. I make them all.
Oh.
That never happens. You know, me fluking saves. It's nice that it finally paid off after all this time. Because if he kills something, then he can eat. If he kills a whole unit, then he gets a permanent 5-up feel no pain for the rest of the game. I think he's got a stinger. He's got the tail though. The tail can do something.
The tail.
1 hit with the tail. Hits on a 3. It misses.
Because I forgot it.
1 minute. It's got a thorax spine maw as well. By the way, all the Imperial armor stuff is in this book, or the Forge World. That's the one you need. Or Battle Scribe, obviously. Basically, you got to roll over your strength, or you'll do D6 mortal wounds to me. So I need. On a 1 or 2, my strength is 7.
Yeah.
It's not over you.
No.
So you do D6 mortal wounds to that squad.
I do.
If you get a 5, you wipe them anyway. You get a 1. You don't wipe them anyway. Oh no, the Democarian bounces. Right, I'm not paying to interrupt, so we might as well come all the way down here to the Gene Stealers. There's 8 of them left. Can 8 Gene Stealers hack through a unit of warriors? They have 4 attacks each. This is 32 attacks, and I won't get a save against this type of... I won't get a save. 3s to hit. Many hits. 4s to kill, though. AP -3. How many are dead? 10 die. It's half the squad. I've pulled them away. On 5 ups, they get back up again. And you reroll 1s with warriors. So 3 more get back up. You killed 7 in total. For some reason, I expected more from them. No doubt we'll see more of the Gene Stealers later, but now we're coming down to the Carnifexes. Carnifexes have a base 4 attacks. They get +1 for the charge and 1 for each of these monstrous sizing talons they have. So they've got 9 attacks. So we're doing with this one, because it's hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. It was pimped by the Swarm Lord and spending a CP on Voracious Appetite. How many shots, how many hits come through first, though?
Okay.
Yes.
9 dice.
And there's 3 1s, so it's a good job that the Swarm Lord told it to hit better. And in the end, you drop 2 of the attacks. That's 7 that come through. At strength 7, with 6 is auto wound.
Yep.
Because of toxin sacks. And then these are wound on 3s and reroll all failed wounds because of Voracious Appetite. And there's a failed wound. And you wound every single time. Well, yes. You wound 7 times. That squad does have a 5-up invulnerable save from the Chronomancer. And I make 2, which means 5 destroyers get wiped out. So reanimation, looking for as many 5s and 6s as I can get away with. So 1's back, 2's back, so 3 get wiped out. Then there's consolidation. Then the second Carnifex comes in like a wrecking ball, hitting on 3s. 6's auto wound. Wound so far, 3's to wound. In total 5 wounds.
Yes.
No rerolls on this lot. So 5 invulnerable saves. That's 4, which is interesting because that'll kill a destroyer, kill a destroyer, kill a destroyer, and put the heavy destroyer, which has 4 wounds, down to 1 wound remaining, which means I can reanimate. Oh, he didn't wipe the squad. Let's reanimate. The heavy destroyer kept the squad alive there. Did any come back? 1 comes, and 1 comes back as well. Crump. So that was painful, but that heavy destroyer hanging on a 1 wound left kept that squad in it, because if you get entirely wiped out, you can't reanimate. So I think I lucked out there. Talking about lucking out, I definitely lucked out with my race into the Demacarian. So he's within ½ inch. Oh, I can put all the attacks of the Demacarian. It seems rude not to. I'm also going to spend a CP on disruption fields because I'm strength 6, gets me up to strength 7, and the Demacarian is toughness 7. And I hit on 4s, so that's 4 hits, perfectly statistically average. And then I need 4s to wound. And I get 3 wounds. He's got a 5-up invulnerable save now because he's outside of synaptic link range. So 3 5-up invulns. And you fail all 3, and it's 2 damage a time, but you did put Catalyst on him. So you get 6 shrugs. And you shrug 2 of them. So he takes 4 wounds. Down to 14 remaining. Onto the Lockhurst Destroyers. Striking back here. They're going to hit on 3s. And they're going to wound on 5s. That's all going into the injured one. A chance of 2-up saves. I tickle it. Take that wound off that was regenerated. And then Warriors versus Gene Stealers. 11 can fight on 3s. And 4s as they club you with their weapons. That is 4 wounds. Gene Stealers have a 4-up invulnerable save in close combat. 5-up invulnerable save to shooting. And a club 1, 2 of them down. At the end of the turn, I do have a leadership test to take on these guys. So 5 plus the 8 that they lost, or 7 that they lost, is enough for me to lose 1. And there's 12 left, and I lose another 3 of them. So 4 fled in morale. I don't like the idea of warriors fleeing in morale. Let's just say that the Gene Stealers hacked some more down as they tried to reanimate, tore them apart bit by bit. Over here, is there any negatives to my leadership at all from any of your shenanigans over here?
No, not that I'm aware of, no.
Because rated leadership 10, so they're going to hang in there. They're going to be fine, even though I lost 4 of them. And that is the end of Necrons and Tyranids turn 1. So you focused on my wraiths rather exclusively and wiped out a chunk. And you've also wiped out a chunk of the heavy destroyers down here, leaving me with another unit of wraiths ready to jump in on something potentially. Another unit of heavy destroyers. This unit here is going to have to fall back, which means it doesn't shoot. I could Veil of Darkness them with this guy and pull them away. And then they will be able to shoot. But do I really want to do that with 2 little destroyers? And over here, the Gene Stealers, well, all I need to do is step back and hose them down. There's a lot of close combat that could come in there. But the Harpies untouched. These 2 are a problem. We've got the Swarm Lord coming up, the Exocrine coming up. I don't know which way it's going to go yet. It still feels fairly balanced to me.
Yeah, punch both directions.
Yes, I do know at the start of turn 2, I'll get 1-2 points for being on these 2 objectives in my command phase as we go on to Necrons, turn 2. In the Necron movement phase, lots of shifting about happened. The destroyers fell back out of close combat, and the second unit of destroyers has hopped up over here, because while those Carnifexes are one big massive threat, another big massive threat is the Swarm Lord. And there's an objective here. You'll notice I put them as far back from the objective to still score it and still be in range to light up the Swarm Lord. And of course the Chronomancer has given them a 5-up invulnerable save again, just in case someone wants to come this way and punch them, like the Swarm Lord, after I light him up. The warriors in the centre on this field have fallen back from the objective after being rudely assaulted by all the Gene Stealers, and it was at this point that he realised he hasn't moved his Immortals. 1 minute. I've moved the Immortals. The intention is to get as many of them into rapid fire range and shoot at Gene Stealers. 5-up and Vun to shooting, 4-up and Vun in close combat. Hopefully get rid of them before they charge something else. If I don't get rid of them, I'm actually going to send the Scorpex in, because their weapons, their damage 2, damage 3 weapons won't do much against Carnifexes, because they reduce all damage by 1. What will do something against a Carnifex is the Nightbringer. So he's going to go wheeling in there after doing his powers. Obviously, everything with living metal has healed a wound. And this unit of race were down to 5, but the Technomancer was able to put 1 back in. That's what they do. You might wonder where the second unit of race has gone that were engaged with the Democarian. But they can fall back and charge. And I'm right back in the lines there, looking to try and take out one of those zoanthropes. That psychic power must be negated. What also must be negated is another charge from some Gene Stealers. So I've hopped down here with a monolith, and I'm not going to shoot at Gene Stealers or all of these, but I am blocking the pass. Look, I think some of this shots will go down into one of the other Screamer Killers down here. So that's the end of my movement phase. I sort of bowed in the middle because of this relentless push right up the centre from the Tyranids. I hope to clear away this sort of flank, and then it will start, the battlefield will start to spin on a fulcrum around the middle. That happens quite a lot, have you noticed? That the battlefield tends to shift, yeah. So that looks like it might happen this time. We'll see. The power of the Catan, though, will compel you, first of all. So what I can do is everything within 6 inches, you roll a dice 4, and on a 4+, this is Cosmic Fire, it takes D3 mortal wounds. So that's a unit, because once they go down, they're separate units, and the Democarian. So the Democarian, the injured Carnifex, the non-injured Carnifex. So only the injured Carnifex takes D3 mortal wounds for 1. And then here's Cosmic Fire thing was going into the Democarian, which is 3 D6s, and for every 4s, it's D3 mortal wounds. So 1 wound so far on this Carnifex, and 5 wounds on the Democarian. He still has Catalyst on him, though. See how many he can shrug? He shrugs 3 of them. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Okay, coming all the way down here for the shooting phase, spending a CP on Relentless Onslaught. This unit of Immortals are going to try and clear away those Gene Stealers there. I hit on 3s, and 6s explode for an extra hit, and then these will wound on 3s. And that's 6s explode with the Relentless Onslaught, and that is 5 invulnerable saves to make on the Gene Stealers. So,
come on.
Come on. No, you lose 4. Second squad are firing in. Everyone's in rapid fire because immortal weapons are cool. They're longer range. 2 more wounds. There's 2 more Gene Stealers remaining.
I'm on 5s.
Now there's no Gene Stealers remaining. 1 target down, but to really open up this flank, I need these destroyers to kill the Swarm Lord, at least hurt him very, very much. So I'm spending 3 CP here, rapid. 1 on disintegration capacitors, so 6s to hit auto wound, and extermination protocols for rerolling all failed wounds. Okay? A hail of firepower. So I'm hitting on 3s originally, and a reroll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1s. Look at that, because they're destroyers. But those 6s auto wound you. Okay? Yep. So that's a good start. These are 5s to wound though. He's toughness 8 with a 2-up save. He's a chonky lad. So I need 5s and re-rolling all failed wounds because of extermination protocols. That didn't help me. Right, that many 4+ invulnerable saves, and that's 9 4+ invulnerable saves. Let's see if you can do it. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 there. It's good, isn't it? So 3d3 damage. He's got 13 wounds. Let's see how much damage this does. 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
Up to 7.
Then I've got the big gun of doom, which hits, and it's strength 12. Wounds, 4+ invulnerable save. Which you make, because that would have been 3d3 damage. What was that, rapid?
I thought he was gone. I honestly thought he was gone.
I hoped he would be gone too.
Yeah.
But no, he steps right, he steps left, he dodges the blows. Demacarian's on 12 left. So this monolith, what it's going to do is it's going to put... See, he does dig 6 damage at a time. I could potentially kill both of these in close combat, but I don't fancy my chances. So can I actually see this?
See his tail?
Yeah, I can see a bit of his carapace as well. So I'm going to put the particle whip from that into the Swarm Lord, and the death rays, I'm being greedy, are going into Carnifex number 2, non-injured one. Okay? Here is death rays into Carnifex on 3s, and wounding on 3s. And I'm going to CP reroll that because I really want it dead.
Saves.
5-up saves on the Carnifex. You failed all 3.
Oh.
Each of these is D3 plus 3. Oh, so command point or not? Or are you going to save it for the Swarm Lord? Mind you, you've done already done a CP reroll. No, you haven't done a CP reroll.
D3 plus 3. 4.
Yes.
So I can only fix 1, can't I? He's only got 6 wounds left.
No, this one, the uninjured one.
Decisions.
He's got 9 wounds. It's probably going to... You're looking at 12 or a minimum of 6. Somewhere between 6 or 12 wounds. Mind you, with the minus, it's somewhere between 6 and 10 wounds if 2 get through. If 3 get through, he's definitely dead. I'm saying there's a chance, but then you're not going to do a CP reroll on the Swarm Lord if I hit the Swarm Lord with something massive.
I'll keep it for the Swarm Lord.
Yes? Okay. So that becomes 5 damage plus 3 damage plus 3 damage. So that is a dead Screamer Killer. Bye-bye, Screamer Killer, which lashes out on a 6, I believe. And will hit something. He doesn't lash out.
No
right, Particle Whip going on Swarm Lord. You have spent a CP given him in Transhuman, which you can put on monsters. And it's 6 shots again from the Particle Whip. They charged up the battery on the monolith before it jumped in. It's got 5 hits. And Transhuman means it wounds once. 4+ save. And that is flat 3 damage.
I'll use my reroll on that one.
Now the command point comes in. And that is no damage at all. That kept the Swarm Lord alive. And that is the end of my shooting phase. Clearing away a unit of Gene Stealers and 1 Screamer Killer. Well, it could have been a lot better. The Swarm Lord could have died. So now we're going to charge. And he goes there. And they're going to go into Demacarian. Like that. And the Wraiths at the back are going to charge into... We're going to charge into the Zoanthropes. We charge into the Zoanthropes. And suddenly there's a mess of units right below the installation. I could charge forward with the monolith, but I don't want to. I'm happier blocking the gap here. This is better blocking the gap. So instead, we're going to start over here. Now, the Catan can only lose 3 wounds in a phase, so I'm not worried about him. What I am worried about is the Demogarian killing all my race. Now, he's toughness 7, strength 6, so I'll spend the CP on disintegration capacitors to get them back up to strength 7. And let's try and kill a Demogarian. This time, because of my Technomancer, I'm hitting on 3s. And I'm wounding on 4s. 7 5+ invulnerables. 4 go through at 2 damage each, so Catalyst. This isn't going to kill him, but in the end I do take 6 wounds off of it and put it down to 6 wounds remaining. Speed on speed there, the Wraiths clawing all over the Demogarian, but the Demogarian managing to stay alive. We're coming over here to the Carnifex, which is interrupting against my Death Reaper, the Catan. Hitting on 3, sir. Remember, 6 is auto wound. So, because you've got toxin sacks, right?
Yeah.
So that's 3 wounds already. I'll roll my 4 up in buns. I fail one of them. It takes 3 damage, but it can't take any more than 3 damage this phase. So you've injured him.
Yeah.
Then he turns around with his massive scythe and slashes down at you on 2s and hits 5 times. This is the entropic blow at strength 14, so it wounds on 2s, and they're all AP -4. So curiously, you do have 6 up saves. And you make one of them. It's nice, isn't it? He's got 6 wounds left. These are D6 damage.
Right.
You reduce all damage by 1, but that's still enough to kill the Carnifex. Does he? Even if he does lashed out and hit the Catan, he is a star god. You can't take any more wounds off of him.
Okay.
The Catan takes home his prize. So the Carnifexes have gone. The last thing left from my charging units are the Wraiths over there trying to take out those Zoanthropes. 8 attacks, hitting on 4s. I hit 4 times. Wounding on 3s. I only wound twice. Command point in... Yeah, let's do a command point. I only wound twice. 2+4+ invulnerable saves on your Zoanthropes. And you make both of the saves, so I don't injure them at all. But at least you can't fall back and psychic something else. You have to psychic your way through them. That is the end of my charging stuff. We're going to headbutt back with the Zoanthropes and attack with the Demogarian. We did the headbutt back from the Zoanthropes. I actually managed to put a wound on a Wraith. We're coming across the Demogarian. Because of the upgrade, he counts as on top bracket. Yes. So he's still going to hit on 3s with his 6 claws and reroll 1s. And that's all 2 1s and 3 hits so far. 5 hits in total. Strength 8 versus toughness 5. Winning on 3s. That's better. 4 wounds. I think last time you only did like 2 or something.
Yeah.
4+ invulnerable saves. I fail that many. 2 Wraiths die. And then the tail smashes out. And hits. And doesn't wound. Then at the end of all of that, after 2 died, I need to roll a 3 up so you don't eat some more. Yes. So I need to beat your strength. And I do beat your strength. You don't eat any more or do any additional mortal wounds. And I think that's the end of the fight phase. That's the end of Necrons. Turn 2. I have pushed, your entire army is now pushed back into this corner. That counter thrust by the Cadian dynasty was potent. Apart from the fact that I wasn't able to bring down the Swarm Lord, which still has 7 wounds remaining. There's massive gaps on this side of the battle grid, but you still have plenty of fight back left. The Exocrine is untouched. The Harpy can fly around all over the place and does what it wants, and that Demogarian is an absolute beast. At the start of your turn, I'm controlling that one now, but you're on 1-2 objectives. Yep. So in your command phase, you'll get 2 points as well, making it 2 points each. So this game is a dead draw as we go on to Tyranids turn 2. The Tyranids respond to the punchback from the Necrons, how we knew they would, pivoting around the centre of the battle grid and forming a firing arc against all the Necrons down there. I'd love the look of this, by the way, from this angle, Rapid. It's like the monolith has blurred into part of an Imperial bastion there. Got bastion, tower, and then a monolith in the middle, blurring its living metal. There's a wall of steel there. Now, I must confess that you didn't take the bait. So I didn't kill the Swarm Lord, and I was hoping that he would come charging after the unit that I shot at over here, because with a 5-up invulnerable save down here, if the Swarmlord came charging into the Necron destroyers down here, it'd kill some, but I'd be able to keep some alive with a 5-up invuln and then reanimate. And honestly, if I kept the Swarmlord out of the rest of the game by having him down in that corner with those destroyers, then that would have been great for me. But Rapid was too canny to take the bait. So instead, he has gone back over that way with the Swarmlord, and he's just waving his hands at me because you forgot the Rippers. The Rippers are coming in. So what it means is you didn't take the bait here, and now I'm out of position. And the guns are only 24-inch range apart from the big gun. Rippers going here? I think you were just discussing about putting them down there.
9-inch away.
Yeah, which is an 8-inch charge with your +1 to charge. And if they survive the Overwatch and tag them up for a turn, that means I'm not shooting with them for a turn. Instead, the Swarmlord has gone charging round this way to engage with the Wraiths. Oh, and at the start of the battle round, in battle round 2, you did tell me, I should have narrated it, but you get to pick a synaptic imperative every turn.
Yep.
And at the start of turn 2, before I started moving everything, you said to fall back and charge one.
Yes, that's from the Swarmlord.
From the Swarmlord. So the Demacarian, moving 12, has hopped up and over. And he's gone over there. And he can fall back and charge. So the Swarmlord is going to go in against the Wraiths. It looks like the Demacarian is going to go in against the Catan. But you won't kill the Catan in one hit in close combat. Only 3 wounds per phase. So the Harpy has flown over that way. Take 3 wounds off in the shooting phase, 3 wounds off in the charge phase. That's a dead Catan. And then with all of this firepower coming into the Wraiths as well as the psychic might, maybe you'll clear a line straight down this edge of the battlefield, and I'll be up over here except for the monolith, and you'll be down there. It's just a chance to break through the lines. Big Mama, she spawned in her unit of 10. So now there's 50 little Gribblies down there swarming all over her here. So we're on to the... and other stuff. So you buff this unit. The Swarmlord couldn't buff anything. No. Any more buffs? Anything we missed out?
Big Mama put the +1 onto that.
So they're hitting on 3s.
Yeah.
And the Harpy once per... It can do a bombing run.
Yeah.
So what it does is it flies over a unit and you roll a dice for every model in the unit. And on a 4-up, you do a mortal wounds. So it can do it 1 dice on my Technomancer. Or if it hits a vehicle, it's D6. So what do you want to hit?
I'm going to do this. So it's the 6.
Okay. 66, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
and then on 4s,
4s,
it does mortal wounds. And that is 4 mortal wounds to the monolith as it drops its acidic bombs from the sky and starts melting some of that living metal. Now we're on to the psychic phase. I'm going to start down here with the Zoanthropes. The only thing they can do is smite and hit the Wraiths. 2d6. 3d6 because they're buffed. And +2 is still not a super smite, but it is D3 +2 mortal wounds. Oh. That's pretty cocked. And that is 2. +2 is 4 mortal wounds, which means 1's left alive on 1 wound. Mm-hmm. Interesting. But the Zoanthrope will be able to kill him, or the Neurothrope.
Neurothrope, yeah. So +2 to his rolls, so that is a 8.
Yeah, that's enough mortal wounds to kill him no matter what. Did. And his second power is Catalyst. What would you like to Catalyst up, sir? Swarmy?
Yeah,
or the Exocrine? Or Swarmy?
I think Swarmy.
Swarmy.
So +2.
And that's a pass. Yeah. So the Swarmlord has a 6+ and 5-up, feel no pain. He's got psychic powers, and the Tervagon has got psychic powers.
Yeah.
She's got Smite and Catalyst. Already tried Catalyst, so smiting on a 7 now. And that's an 11. That's a super smite. On the Wraiths, D6 mortal wounds.
Come on, big 6.
It's the big one. It's a big one. It's always, whenever I get a super smite, it's always, yeah. And what's Swarmlord got? Catalyst and Paroxysm?
Paroxysm, yeah.
Paroxysm, what's that?
So no Overwatch.
No Overwatch.
And also a -1 to their wound roll.
Okay. Yeah, that'll keep him, that will help him out.
So we need a 7.
That works.
Yep.
Has he got 2 powers? I swear he's got 2 powers.
He can cast 2. So I suppose I can try.
Cheeky smite.
No, the cheeky smite.
5, 6, 7, 8 for the smite this time. And that's a 6, so that's a failed smite. Yep. So -1 to their wound rolls is the only lingering effect that we need to remember. And the psychic might of the Tyranids has killed the first unit of Wraiths. Now we're on to the shooting phase. We're starting the shooting phase with the Termagants that are buffed, and they're spending a CP on Scorch Bugs. The difference between wounding the Wraiths on 4s or wounding the Wraiths on 3s. And they're going to hit on 3s because Big Mama told them to, well, synaptic fizzle. Could have been better rapid. But at least you're wounding on 3s. +1 strength. Ooh, that's nice. 9 4-up saves. One was injured, he's dead. And another one's dead. Okay. So reanimation from that squad. No. The little bugs that could take out 2 Wraiths. After the buffed swarm fired in, we fired the ones from here and here that could see, as well as the Stinger Salvo from the Termagant, all into the Wraiths. And you managed to get one down to 1 wound remaining, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Because the only thing left to fire now is the Exocrine and the Harpy. And the Harpy has other targets in mind.
Yes. AKA
the Nightbringer. So 6 shots plus 2d3 shots with the cannons.
So this is the 2d3.
And that is 12 shots in total. Oh, this should do it. These will hit on 3s. 2 misses, strength 8 versus toughness 7. So 4s to wound. That's 5 wounds. 6 wounds. 5 wounds? 6 wounds.
These 3s, wouldn't
7 wounds. Many wounds. 1 minute. 4 up and buns. Right, he takes his 3 damage. He's down to 3 wounds remaining. Oh, and off camera, it has got a Stinger Salvo, which is going to try and plink off the last wound of that Wraith there on 1 wound remaining. These are 8 shots. These will hit on 3s. Can you plink off the last wound? Well, you hit every single time.
Come on.
Pause the wound. Can you wound every single time? You wound 3 times. 3 4-up saves on my last Wraith. And it falls. All the Wraiths are gone. My Nightbringer's down to 3 wounds remaining, and the Exocrine hasn't got very many targets because line of sight is the thing. But it wants to fire at the Monolith anyway, which is on 20 wounds. And if anything has a chance of taking the Monolith out, it is this Exocrine. It's got 6 shots plus D3 with its big cannon.
So for the D3.
And you maxed it again. Plasma cannon hits on 3s. Kaboom. Strength 8, toughness 8. This is the hard part. 3 wounds get through, but it's -4. Yeah. Now, Monoliths don't have an invulnerable save, but they do have a flat 2-up save. So I need 6s. I don't get any 6s, and each of these is 3 wounds.
Yep.
That's 9 damage.
Yep.
So the Monolith's only on 11 wounds left. Then with Voracious Ammunition, roll a 2+, which you do, and then it suffers D3 mortal wounds. And it's down to 9 wounds left. Well, that was easy. Maybe the Gene Stealers stand a chance. Maybe they'll be able to claw it down. So a pretty good shooting phase, a pretty good psychic phase. Now we're on to some charges. The Demacarians going against the Catan, and I have no Overwatch. And with your +1 to the charge, you cannot fail. But let's see how far I'll be able to leap, in case you want to leap a bit further. So that will work out as an 8-inch charge if you want to leap a bit further. The Gene Stealers cannot fail the charge against the Monolith. No. There's no point in overwatching them. But over here, Rippers into my Destroyers. So you need, I will overwatch you, but you need an 8 with your +1 to charge. Because I really don't want them tagged. And that's a 9. They're going to get in. So let's do some Overwatch. Here we are at the end of the charge phase. The Gene Stealers trying to claw up the side of the Monolith there. Haul their way up. Demacarian versus Catan. That's going to be very interesting. And then over here, I managed to kill 1 Ripper Swarm in Overwatch. And obviously, Rapid is going to start down here with Ripper Swarms versus Destroyers, so I can pay to interrupt with my Catan and kill your Demacarian.
Yeah,
right?
that's how it works, yeah.
Yep, okay, let's go on to Ripper Swarms. Now, obviously, starting with the Demacarian. Why is he up to 9 wounds, you're asking me? Well, because he did do Rapid Regeneration on him. I forgot to mention it. And you got the big 3. So he went from 6 wounds back up to 9 wounds. He strikes out against the Catan. He's going to hit on 3s and reroll 1s. Just 1/1 to reroll. You missed 3 times. Strength 8, toughness 7. Wounding on 3s. Oh, drop dice don't count. Right, at least you wound every time. Now, if I fail a save, dead Catan. So I'm looking over there, I've got 6 CP left. 4+ invulnerable saves. Are you nervous? Because he does D6 damage back.
Yes.
Please, please. Zinch, hear my prayer. Oh no. So even if I command point it, dead Catan, and I think they blow up on 4s.
Oh no.
It doesn't blow up. The Catan has gone. The Demacarian piles into my Technomancer, clearing away the lines around here. And now we have 40 Genestealer attacks, hitting on 3s and wounding on 6s against the monolith. We rolled off camera. You managed to do 3 extra wounds. I need 5 up saves. And it was on 9 wounds. The monolith is down to 7 wounds remaining. I think that's it for all the charging units.
Yep.
So I do get to strike back. And let's start with the monolith against your Genestealers.
Okay.
On 7 wounds remaining, the monolith has D6 attacks as it powers up energies from the Eternity Gate for 1 attack. Which misses. Because if they hit, they automatically wound. So there's that one. And then the Technomancer manages, he'll lash out at the Demacarian, and he hits, and he doesn't wound either. And that is the end of Tyranid's turn. Oh no! Yes, sorry. We've got over here, Ripper Swarms versus Destroyers. They have 4 attacks each, that's loads of attacks, but they hit on 5s. And strength 3, wounding on 5s. They actually wound twice. Don't let an armour save, come on now. That's embarrassing. Right, I'm piling in 2 attacks each back. You got a 6 up save, but this is no AP, and I really want them dead. I hit on 3s, I reroll 1s because that's what destroyers do. And I'm winning on 3s, 6 up saves, and 1 dies, and 1 goes down to 3 wounds remaining. And that's the end of the fight phase. Now they're outside of Synapse Rapid. They leash at 4. So they need a 1 to pass unless you burn 2 CP.
I'm going to burn 2 CP.
Heroic bravery. Insane bravery.
Yes.
It stops this unit shooting. It just makes perfect sense. And yeah, okay. So some Ripper Swarms burrowed up from underground, sent by the Hive Mind, and have gone flying into my bait unit. And instead the Swarm Lord, well, he didn't even need to make the charge because you wiped out the Wraiths in close combat. And that was a pretty good get turn from the Tyranids there. That was a pretty good fight back. There is a line drawn across the battlefield, and you still have the Harpy, you still have the Swarm Lord, you still have the Demacarian, you still have quite a lot of might left. Now, I've got some destroyers, and some more destroyers, and some destroyers tied up by Rippers. Interesting. But at the start of the turn, I will get 1, 2, 3 points. So I am on 3 points, making it 5 points to 2. So that's a thing as we go on to Necrons. Turn 3. After 2 bloody and brutal turns, it turns out that I don't have a lot left. And that took a very long time. Sorry, Rapid.
It's fine.
I had to really think about what I was doing there. So over here I've fallen back out of combat. So they're not shooting, but I didn't really move them far enough forward so that the Swarmlord can come charging up. He's in a crater as well, so that will slow him down. And the intention is to shoot the crap out of that Ripper Swarm so that doesn't happen again. And I'm a bit out of position here because it's pivoted. So the only other real things I've done is I'm going to try and engage the Demacarian with my Scorpec Destroyer Lords and my remaining Lockhurst Destroyers. The Monolith is staying in combat. It can't fall back and shoot. But I did spend 2 CP on it, so it counts as its full profile for when it shoots and when it fights, and maybe we'll be able to dig our way through lots of Genestealers. This will be interesting. The Blast Death Ray thing can't do its thing. So it's just the Death Rays, which are heavy, firing at them on 4s because it's in close combat and wounding them on 2s, and only wound 2 Genestealers. And they get 5 up and vulnerable saves against shooting. And I blast 2 of them at point blank range. So that's shooting done there. Technomancer fell back, so he can't shoot. We're going to come across here. I've got the entropic, I've got the good gun on this one, which is going to blast in at the Ripper base and hit it. It doesn't wound it. It's like a las cannon. Okay, the Immortals will fire in at the Ripper base. Die, Ripper base, die. 3s to hit. Freeze to wound with no... Yes, okay, the Gauss tears it apart. The little ripper base that could. But at least it did its job. Because if it hadn't come charging in, this unit of destroyers would have lit up your Swarm Lord. Yeah. And he may not have been long for this world. So perhaps it was the Swarm Lord that sent it in. No shots here, no shots here. I've got some shots through trees into Demacarian. And that didn't cause any wounds. So the Anemic Destructor from the Scorpic Lord will fire up its 2d3 shots for 5 shots. And it'll hit the Demacarian on 2s and wound it on 5s, re-rolling 1s, because it's a Lord. So that's 3 wounds at -1. So 3 4-up saves on the Demacarian, which you failed 2. But because it ate something in close combat, a Star God, it's got a permanent 5-up shrug for the rest of the game. So you get 2 shrugs on that. Oh, drop those, don't count. And you shrug one of them. Tasty Star God snack, putting it down to 8 wounds remaining.
Yep.
Now I'm going to light it up with some destroyers. You're okay down there. By the way, when you go down, if any dice go under here, they're lost. Don't never go under the shelves, okay?
They're in the
amount of pubes, dead bodies, skin under there.
It's the first one that's got me. Enough a man in there.
It's a nightmare. Do not look under the shelves. And don't tell my wife about it either. Right, so these destroyers are going to fire in at that. How many CP have I got over there? Because I'm thinking about spending...
You've got 5. Can I play Transnidian?
You can play Transnidian. I'm playing 2 CP to re-roll all wounds, and it's only 2 guys here. So 2 in the pot for me as well. Here's the big gun, which re-rolls 1s, thank heavens. And I hit. Right, I need to wound you on a 4 with a big gun, and I re-roll that because of... extermination protocols. So you need a 5-up invulnerable save. You lucky 5s, re-rolling everything. Okay, 2 more 5-up invulnerable saves. Stop making the saves. You fail 1. D3 damage. For 2 damage, 2 shrugs. You shrug 1. It's down to 7 wounds remaining.
Really starting to have the case of the field.
It's okay. No. It's okay. I like it when they walk through fire and when something turns out your Demacarian's being... I don't know about feel bads. I should have chipped a few more wounds off of it, but it would always be a long shot with my Lord, who is going to charge in. He's the only thing that's charging in, and he goes charging in, and that's the start. And let's do some fighting, huh?
Yep. Okay.
Right. I'm going to do the overhand swing because the overhand swing means that it's flat 3 damage, I think.
I'm going to play Transnidian again.
Are you?
Different phase.
Yes, this will, instead of wounding on 3s, I'll be wounding you on 4s.
Yeah.
But it is 3s to hit because it's an overhand swing, and he can reroll 1s because he's a destroyer. So 4s to wound you. And he rerolls 1s, no 1s. Okay. So 2 5+ invulnerable saves, I can't kill it. But I do 6 damage. I said do. Got 7 wounds left. How many can it shrug? It can shrug only 1. It's down to 2 wounds remaining. That's it for charging models. Demacarian on 2 wounds remaining. Now defenders get to fight first. How many Gene Stealers you got left? 8. Attacking the monolith?
Yep.
The Gene Stealers scrabbling at the monolith caused 3 wounds. And I make 2 of the saves. So it is down to 6 wounds remaining. We're going to go... Well, before we go into the Demacarian, I'm going to do the monolith. Because I spent the 2 CP on putting it on full bracket, it's got 6 hits, okay? Mm-hmm. And all I need to do is hit you, and then it auto wounds you at strength 8. So 3s. 3 wounds. 3 5+ invulnerable, well, 4+ invulnerable saves. And 2 of them fail, and 2 of them get sucked off the battle grid through the Eternity Gate and are never seen again. I know it's small, it's childish, but so am I. So we're back to the Demacarian. He's always got 6 attacks, but he's hitting on 5s now because he's only got 2 wounds remaining. And I'm going to burn a CP. -1 to wound me. Swirling Onslaught.
Okay.
So 5s to hit. That's 2 hits. Yeah, you can't, no 1s to reroll. And 1 minute, let me just double check the strat that I just spent. Yeah, -1 to wound. So instead of wounding on 3s, you're wounding on 4s. And that did help me on 1 of them. I have a 4+ invulnerable save against this. You ready? I failed the save. How much damage is it?
D3 plus 3.
D3 plus 3. I'm going to command point that. And that worked. And then the tail smashes out on a 5. And that misses.
Yep.
And then I've got to roll equal or more than your strength. Basically, don't roll a 1. Otherwise, you do D6 mortal wounds to me. I rolled a 3. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. So he goes charging in. I hurt the Demacarian. No fallback and then charging this time because of the thing.
Yep. It's
on 2 wounds remaining. So at the end of my turn, I didn't do much, to be honest. I killed a Ripper base. I've hurt the Demacarian and I've wiped out 2 of the Gene Stealers, and that's it. Then at the start of your turn, I think you're on 3 objectives because you outnumber me on that one, and you're on that one, and you're on that one. So it's 5 points each. 5 points each as we go on to Tyranids, turn 3. So 5 points each. This game is a dead draw right now, and the Tyranids need to shift to do some repositioning. What happened in the movement phase, first of all, is the Harpy flew over them, dropped some acidic bombs and didn't wound them. And the Demacarian has backed out of close combat because you want to shoot Scorpec Lord and potentially charge him with a Swarm Lord. Your synaptic imperative this turn was the +2 to move from the Turbogun?
Yes.
Yes, so that happened. And then loads of smites came out from this lot back here, the Neurothrope, Zernthrope. That's dead. He's dead. He's dead. You killed him. And then the Swarm Lord put a smite in on my Scorpec Lord and put 1 wound off of him. He's also paroxysmed, which means it's -1 to his wound rolls. Because the Demacarian can't charge him, but the Swarm Lord could charge him. It's going to be -2 to his charge, but -1 to his charge because of the thing going through the trees. Potentially that's a charge in at the Scorpec Destroyer Lord. Some advancing along here. With some of the squads, and you put Catalyst on the Gene Stealers. They're doing well, scrabbling all over the thing, so yeah, maybe they can scrabble some more wounds off. Pulses sent up and down the synaptic link also hit the Demacarian here. Rapid regeneration's gone up from 2 wounds back up to 5 wounds, and with the thing that you gave him, it means he's on top profile. So now we're going to shoot some guns as the Tyranids try and push their way out of this Imperial installation and push the Necrons off this battle grid. The Termagants are going to start off the shooting phase. They did advance, but they're buffed by the Turbogon, and they're buffed further by Scorch Bugs, shooting at my Lord, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s. 6 wounds came through, 6 4-up saves, and I take 3 wounds. It's down to 2 wounds. Turbogon is going to fire in, but this is going to hit on 4s. There's trees in the way. Still pretty good shooting. And winning on 5s. Nothing. And then we've got a load of little Termagants, which are going to be hitting on 5s and wounding on 5s. And 1 more wound came in, which I make the save for. Last thing left to fire is the Exocrine and the Harpy. Now, you want to use the Scorpec Lord as a slingshot into combat with your Swarm Lord. And the Exocrine is out of range for the destroyers down here, just out. But you are in range, or just out of line of sight, sorry, but you are in range and line of sight of the destroyers over here. So 6 plus D3 shots into the destroyers from the Exocrine is another 9 shots. Stop it now. Maxing out every time, but 4s to hit because broken trees in the way. This pile over here. And that's still 5 hits. And it's 3s to wound. Now, these would have killed them. This would have killed 1, 2, 4 of them straight away. But they do have the 5-up invulnerable save because of the Chronomancer. And that saves 1. So 3 of them fall. Let's do Rianne's. 1 minute, you've got the Voracious Ammunition. So on a 2+, you do D3 mortal wounds because you might kill another one. That's a 3. So D3, you do kill another one. So 4 die in the shooting phase. Because those are mortal wounds. I don't get the save against that. How many get back up? 1, 2 get back up. So in the end, only lose 2. After the Lockhurst destroyers got targeted, now the Scorpec destroyers are getting targeted by the Harpy. So I'm spending a CP on Whirling Onslaught, -1 to wound them. It's 2d3 shots, plus the 6 is 11 shots, hitting on 3s.
Strength 8, toughness 5.
Yeah, so winning on 4s now with Whirling Onslaught. And that's 3 wounds. CP -2, so I need 5s. I fail them all. That's 2 damage a time. Now Stinger Salvo on 3s. And 5's to wound.
Nope.
No wounds. So do I reanimate the one that you killed? I don't reanimate the one that you killed. And 1 is on, 1 wound remaining. So that's the end of the shooting phase. It's about ineffectual like my shooting phase was, because we've redrawn the battle lines here, just niggling at each other right now. But what won't be niggling at each other is the Swarm Lord. This is going to be an 8-inch charge into the Scorpec Destroyer. Good luck.
Feeling good, feeling good.
Feeling good. And that's a 7. Oh, you miss it by 1. You still got 4 CP over there.
Yeah, let's CP that.
Okay.
Nope.
And that's a 7. 7 into a 7, you fail your charge into the Scorpec Destroyer Lord. That's very interesting.
I can't
You see,
charge them because I advanced.
it is the fight phase. I could consolidate. See, I can pile in. No, that's cheeky. I'm going to charge him anyway, I think. And I might want to shoot him with some stuff before I charge him in. So if I hit a big... No, I'm not going to do anything. That's it. Do you want to send the little guys in? The little Griblies? No, they advanced, didn't they?
Advanced, yeah.
They advanced. So no charges. Interesting. What we do have is defenders fighting first, which is the monolith, which has got these 6 attacks because I spent the 2 CP on making it beef one more time. Wounding on 2s into the Gene Stealers, and I wound you many times. So this is 5/4 plus invulnerable saves. You rolled a bunch behind the thing, I can't see. So that kills 3. Well, you've got catalyst on them, but this is a damage 3 thing, so you need to roll 3 5s, 3 5s, 3 5s. Then the Gene Stealers fought back, causing 2 wounds, and a make a save, putting the monolith down to 5 wounds remaining. And that is the end of Tyranids. Turn 3. It is 5 points each.
Yeah.
5 points each. Fail charge. The Scorpec Destroyer Lord could be a problem. Mm-hmm. Maybe. He's going to heal a wound. The monolith's going to go back up to 6 wounds. He's going to heal a wound. I'm on 1, 2, 3 objectives. You're on 3 objectives as well. Is this game going to end up in a draw? No. This game shall not end up in a draw. I will bring the Cadian Dynasty's full weight to bear in Necron's turn 4. It is turn 4, right? It is turn 4. In my movement phase, advancing with the mortals over here, not enough to get onto that objective, so the Chronomancer is scoring it. And he's screened by them, and he gave the unit of destroyers, heavy destroyers, a 5+ invulnerable save. The Scorpec Destroyers are somewhat out of position. And around here, you didn't kill my Scorpec Lord, so my Scorpec Lord's going to go charging in to the Swarm Lord, because why wouldn't he? Yeah. But I'm going to try and put some shots in him first. I did gain a CP like this turn, so I spent my last 2 CP on putting the monolith on full brackets, because I really want to get rid of those Gene Stealers so I can do something in turn 5. But shots and things, not so many shots. So there's a long shot from the Lockhurst Destroyer Lord there that can fire down in at the Demacarians. So I'm going to do that to start off my shooting phase. Are you burning any strats and things? Or are you just going to take it? Yeah, burning a CP to make him transhuman. And I'll hit on a 3. And now I'll wound on a 4. And I do wound. 5+ invulnerable save on your... He's made them all, and he makes that one as well. Brilliant. Well, the Immortals here are firing through trees, so they might as well fire up at him. They managed to put a wound on. 5+. That's a 5. Brilliant. So now I'm thinking with these destroyers here, do I bother shooting at him? Or do I try and wound the Swarm Lord before the destroyers go fire? If I don't shoot at him, he's going to jump on something. Yeah, no, let's put everything into him from the remaining destroyers down here. Here's the big gun, which hits. I need a 4. It wounds. Another 5+. No, not another 5+ invulnerable save, please. It's a 4+. Command point?
Yeah.
Don't do it. I've been shooting at this guy since turn 1. Damn it! Destroyer guns. Re-rolling. 4s to wound. 5s to wound, sorry. I do out-wound. 5+ invulnerable save from the Gauss cannon. No. And this is D3 wounds. for 3 wounds. He's got a shrug though. He's got a shrug. He's not back down to 2 yet. If you roll 3 5s, you roll 1 5+. So he's on 3 wounds remaining, which won't put him on his lowest bracket because of the thing that you paid for him. Is there any more shots? Oh, I can fire his Emitic Destructor in at him. This might do it. Maybe. 2d3 shots for 4 shots. I'm in the trees, so 2s to hit, re-rolling, and 5s to wound you. I'm strength 6. Nothing.
He's saving it for the combat.
That's the end of my shooting phase. Oh no, I've got some shots. I've got some death rays into the remaining Gene Stealers on 4s. 5+ invulnerable save, sir.
Sorry, it's a 2.
Okay, and that is 5 shrugs you need to make with Catalyst on 1 Gene Stealer. And that's the end of my shooting phase. Charging, don't roll Snake Eyes, Scorpec Lord into, I don't roll Snake Eyes. And we go charging in. The Scorpec Lord is enraged and goes charging in against the Alpha Warrior of this Hive Fleet. With his overhand swing, he's going to hit on 3s and reroll 1s. And he's stronger than you, so he'll wound on 3s and reroll 1s because he's a lord and I get 1 through. Then you make a 4+ invulnerable save, which you pass. And even if you'd have failed it, blade parry, the first damage that comes through, he shrugs anyway, he ignores anyway. The Swarm Lord strikes back on 2s and hits every single time. Strength 9.
Ruh-roh.
He will wound on 3s.
Oh,
Only 3. Now, it's a flat 3 damage, but my trait is reduce all damage by 1.
right.
So it's 2 damage, because he's got 3 wounds left. What I'm saying is there's a chance. If I make 2 4+ invulnerable saves, we just bounced off each other.
You did?
We just bounced off each other. And my Destroyer Lord's down to 1 wound remaining. And then Defenders, Gene Stealers can scrabble at the Monolith. And they did no wounds. Then the Monolith hits you 6 times automatically, which wound on 2s. 6 4+ invulnerable saves on the Gene Stealers.
I think they may be paced.
-3, 3 damage a time. And you only failed 2. And then there's 3 5-up shrugs and 3 5-up shrugs. Oh, they get sucked off the battle grid.
One's
one's dead.
sucked off, one got sucked off.
And the other one, they both get sucked off. And that is the end of my turn 4. Yeah. So I didn't kill the Democarian. I didn't kill the Swarm Lord. But curiously enough, actually, at the start of your turn, you're only going to be on 2.
Yes.
Ooh. So I got another 3, making it, what was that? 1 minute. It was 8 points. I was on 8 because it was 5-5.
Yeah.
I get +3, you get +2.
Yes.
So it's going to be 8-7. So I'm winning by a point. Just 1 point as we go on to Tyranids. Turn 4. Right, before we go anywhere, regeneration on the Democarian one more time. Don't roll it. You did! It's back up to 6 wounds. I don't know why I even bothered shooting it to begin with. It's like 4 turns of me shooting at that thing and it's still shooting. It's not that I'm complaining, it's not that I'm bitter or anything. It's awesome that it's still going and going and going and going. I mean, who continues to roll 5-up saves and 6? Who does that? I mean, well, you do it, yeah. You see, yeah, it's like disgustingly resilient all over again. I'm going to need a cold shower after this game. Mind you, at least it's not jumping on any. Well, mind you. Anyway, yeah, Tyranids movement phase. In the Tyranids movement phase, they can sense the weakness in their enemies' back lines, the harpy swinging around the edges of the battle grid, throwing down fire from the sky, and the Democarian, Mr. Demon, I've got to get me one of these, has jumped up and over and is going to slaughter this unit of immortals, no doubt. We had some double advancing round here to get onto this objective. The warriors failed with a command point reroll, but this little unit of bugs managed to make it there. And they're troops and I score, so you've taken that one off of me, which is a glorious thing. Puts you down to 1 CP, I've noticed. And then in the middle, some chonking their way forward. Remember, my Scorpec Lord is only on 1 wound less, and of course the Swarm Lord has not backed down from close combat with him. And we also advanced with the Zoanthropes along the back line, just so that they could get in smite range of my destroyers down here. Talking about smiting, we're going on to the Tyranid psychic phase. Start off with the Neurothrop, smiting the Scorpec Lord. And that's a pass, and it's D3, and you will kill the Lords and rob the Swarm Lord of his kill. But he's fine with that, because you said you wanted to smite the Monolith, which is only on 3 wounds 6 wounds left.
Yeah, so...
Okay, Mr. Swarm Lord needs a 6, and that passes. D3 on the Monolith. It's down to 4 wounds remaining.
And then...
Tervagon.
Tervagon, yeah.
Tervagon's doing it. 5, 6, 7 now. And that's a 6. That's a failed smite. Then we've got the final smite from the Zoanthropes coming into my destroyers. 3d6 on the cast here. And that's a super smite. Use these two so you don't perils. And it's d6 plus 2 mortal wounds. For 8 mortal wounds into the destroyers. And I don't get any reanimation against that. Finally happened, the Zoanthropes managed to finally channel some of their warp energy and do some serious damage, because they've been bluffing for most of the game. A catalyst as well was thrown out onto the Swarm Lord, because if you don't kill the Monolith, it can target him. He is a big, chonky boy. That is the end of the psychic phase. So 2 Necron models get evaporated. We're now onto the shooting phase. And we're starting off with the Exocrine, firing at the Monolith. 6 plus D3 shots for 7 shots this time, which will hit on 3s. And that's only 3 hits. Wound on 4s. And only 1 wound. -4?
Yep.
I need a 6. I make the 6. It's still on 4 wounds remaining. Then we've got lots of strength 4 weaponry, which are going to fire up from it, because it's the only thing they can shoot at. Let's do this off camera. The Tervagants cause 2 wounds, which I fail one of the saves against. It's on 3 wounds remaining. Sorry about the motorbike in the background. The Warriors managed to cause another wound, 2 up save, which I fail. It's on 2 wounds remaining. Now the Tervagan is doing its Stinger Salvo. We'll catch this, because you might actually kill it. On 3s. And then 5s. That's 7 hits. Well, we can't hardly miss the side of the barn door that's there.
No.
The 5s to wound. 1 wound, 2 wounds. 2 wounds at -1, 3 up saves. It's still okay. This unit of Gants, which you pimped, didn't advance. Now, what we did is, they're hitting on 3s because of the Tervagan, and they're twice pimped. They're re-rolling hit rolls of 1 because of the Swarm Lord. Yep. So 20 shots in on the Monolith, hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. And there's 1, but that's pretty good shooting anyway. The barrels are good now. Strength 5. Winning on 5s at AP -1. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? 5.
Yep.
5. 3 up saves. The Monolith is on 2 wounds remaining. Can little Tervagants bring it down? Yes, they can. And
I bet it goes big boom.
It doesn't blow up. It just, the living ammunition, the psychic ammunition just rots it and rots it and rots it, and it essentially winks out of his existence. Now, nothing else is in line of sight and range except for the Harpy that's doing a world tour of this battle grid. And it's going to flick its barb stranglers over its shoulder and into the destroyers for 2d3 plus 6 shots, because it's got 2 of these guns. For 11 shots that hit on 3s. Blang, blang, blang. Strength 8, toughness 5, winning on 3s. And I have 6 5-up saves. One of them was injured, because it's 2 damage each, right? Yep. Let's reanimate. And I don't reanimate. 1's left on 1 wound. 1 minute. Stinger Salvo. Possibility of killing it here. On 3s. And 4s. Strength 5 versus toughness 5. 1 wound.
1 wound.
Basically, it's a 4-up save or death. Death. And at the end of the Tyranids shooting phase, they've completely cleared out the Necrons on their side of the battle grid, except for these little 2 destroyers over here that are staying very, very quiet. And in the charge phase, D. Macarian charges my mortals. Boom, and it ends up there, trying to get round the corner as close to the Scorpex as it can. It's got 6 attacks and it hits on 3s. And that's 5 hits. Strength 8 versus toughness 5 though. So 3s to wound. Only 3 wounds. I get 6 up saves. Oh, he only kills 2. Then the tail lashes out. Nope. And misses. And then I've got to roll, my strength is 4. And I've got to roll higher than your strength. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So I need a 4, basically. I don't get a 4. So you kill 2 so far.
Yeah. And
then you do D6 mortal wounds. And if you kill 3, I won't get to reanimate. And that's 4. I don't get to reanimate. The Demacarian does cleave away that squad. And the Demacarian makes short work of those immortals, nomming them down, getting all of its minerals. And that is the end of Tyranids. Turn 4. And it's 8 points to 7. In my turn, at the start of the command phase, I'm going to get 2 points for these 2 objectives here, making it 8. 10 points to 7. But in the Tyranids' turn, they're going to get 8, 9, 10, 11 points. And they will win if it remains like this in the Tyranid turn. Now, I can't shoot, I can't see these over here. I can't do anything about this objective. And because you destroy all my destroyers and things, line of sight and range, I can't do anything about that objective. And even if I killed the Swarm Lord, then that little bug is in range of that objective as well. So I need to kill all the little bugs. What I'm saying is I can't do anything about those 3 objectives around there. But I could potentially do something about the Demacarian. If I kill the Demacarian, this game will be a draw. Oh dear.
I know he's mine, but he deserves to die. He's been shot so much.
Well,
he shouldn't be alive.
I'm going to light him up now, and I'm going to charge him with some Scorpex, and I'm going to try and end his world. And if he manages to hang in there, and I do notice that you've got 1 CP left, you will win. So Demacarian for the win. As we go into the Necrons movement phase, turn 5. Okay, so I've moved around. Both of the destroyers, the Scorpic destroyers are going to go charging in. Everything is in line of sight and range. Starting off with the Entropic Lance, because I haven't fired it yet, from my Chronomancer, which hits. It's strength 8, so I wound you on 3. It wounds. 5 plus invulnerable save. No, and this is D3 plus 3 damage.
Okay. Okay.
You letting it go? It's got 6 wounds left.
1 CP.
You've got 1 CP. Basically, if he lives, you win. If he dies, you draw. That's it. That's where we are now. So you have to spend it, really.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Anything you can to try and keep him alive.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. No.
Oh.
D3 plus 3 for 5 damage. 5 shrugs coming up. You shrug 3 of them. He's on 3 wounds remaining.
On with a tight grip.
5. No, that was only 2 damage. He's on 4 wounds remaining. Okay. Well, the Immortals. Let's have a tickle because we're up that end, and they hit on 3s and they wound on 5s. So that's 1 more wound, 1 more 5 up and vulnerable save. And that's a 6. Right. Let's do the big guns. Let's come over here from my Lockhurst Heavy Destroyer and Destroyers firing in. Here's the normal Destroyer. Hits twice. Wounds once. 1 5 plus invulnerable. He fails it. This is D3 damage. For 2 damage. 2 shrugs coming up. He takes a wound. He's down to 3. Now the Lockhurst Heavy Destroyer hits on that. Strength very high, wounds on a 3. Wounds. 5 plus invulnerable save. And you make it. Right, I've got 18 shots from my warriors and then a charge to take 3 wounds off this Demacarian. Let's do the shots. I'm going to spend a CP on disintegration capacitors. Basically, the warriors, 6s to hit, auto wound. They thumb the red button on the side of their gun and they fire on 3s. The rest need 5s. Okay, so 5 wounds, 5 ups, then 5 ups, each doing 1 damage. 3 wounds left on that Democarian. Here we go. You make 3 saves, and then the shrugs. You make 1 of them. It's on 2 wounds remaining. Okay, the Scorpic Destroyers have done nothing all game. This is for the win. They go charging in, and they try and bring down this Democarian. 3 of them are Hyperphase Threshers. So that's 12 attacks. And they hit on 3s and re-roll 1s. And these are strength 5, so I need 5s to wound you. And then minus a bajillion, 2 damage a time. So 1 5+ invulnerable save. No, 2 damage. He's on 2 wounds left. You have 2 shrugs. He's on 1 wound remaining. Hyperphase Reap Blades. 1, 2. It comes down to the last dice rolls to draw the game. Reroll the 1s. And these are strength 7 versus toughness 7. 4 invulnerable saves coming up. Huh? And that is 9 damage.
Oh,
9 shrugs.
So I've got a shrug.
All of them.
Oh, he's on 1, isn't he?
Yeah. No, you don't shrug all of them, but it was a noble attempt. The Democarian with Hyperphase Threshers and Reap Blades finally gets cut down, which means the Tyranids are on 3 objectives at the end of the game, which means it's 10 points each after all of that, which means this little scrappy band of Necrons that are left here they'll go through an eternity gate. They'll dislocate from this reality back into a tomb world many, many light years away, and this is the way the world ends. I feel like you won that. I had to retreat. It's a draw, technically, but your Swarm Lord is still alive. Your Big Mama's okay. The Exocrine is untouched. The Harpy, because it had a 4-up invulnerable save, I didn't bother shooting at. And to be honest, I had other targets on my mind.
One in particular, yeah.
Yeah, there was loads of fluky rolls with the Democarian bossed quite a lot, but I did some fluky rolls here or there as well. But that's what you need. See, it balances out. If you bring 5 big monsters, one of them or 2 of them are going to boss it, are going to make their rolls. One of them might fail all the rolls all the time, but one of them is going to hit all their rolls all the time. And you have how was it for you?
It was great. Absolutely great.
Yeah.
The Democarian normally just dies.
So
for once he actually did something in the time I've had him.
Yes. I know in match play games you would get to score at the end of the game, but these guys will, pile onto there. And there would be a chance for you to shoot back and kill stuff, and because you score command stuff at the end of the turn. But you're not going to get on that one, or that one, or that one. No. Even if you blow me off of them, you're not going to get on there because that's an aircraft and can't score. Yeah. So just for anyone else wondering, if we put that rule in place, it isn't going to change the course of the battle anyway. But yeah, that was lovely. The move block with favorite, unit of the match for you, apart from the Democarian. Okay, one that fluffed. I'm a bit speechless right now. Say something intelligent to the people.
I ain't got nothing. Other player of the match.
How long have you known Monkey for?
Monkey, since I was, so over 20 years.
Over 20 years?
Yeah, it's been pleasure.
Has he always been a gorgeous little mushroom?
Yes, he has always been a gorgeous little mushroom, yes. He's, he wears it well, doesn't he?
So you and him, much younger, used to climb trees together and play Tig and... But thanks for coming down. Really enjoyed that game. It's good. Tyranids, Xenos on Xenos action is always good to see, I think. Yeah. So we do hope you enjoyed that battle report. The battle mat and all the scenery here is from GameMat.eu. Happy wargaming.